Thank you for joining us. This is Health Your Own Way podcast, and I am your host, Akins. Welcome to another episode. Today, we're going to be talking about chronic disease and how it affects society as well as affecting the Black community. My guest speaker is Dr. Amanda Adkins. She's an MD, a board-certified internal medicine specialist, a health coach, and the owner of Enlightenment Health and Wealth. So, Amanda, I want to say thank you. Do you want me to call you Amanda or doctor? Which one you prefer, Amanda?
Amanda's perfectly fine. Yes, ma'am.
Anything you want to add before we start today, Amanda?
I'm just excited to be here to discuss this health crisis that we're having. So just thank you for letting me come on.
No, I appreciate you even wanting to have this conversation because I find that a lot of people talk about, things, but are not specific. And I think as a society, we are self-aware of what is out there, but not aware at the same time. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So before we get into it, chronic disease, like disease, give me some education on what a definition of what it means.
So a chronic disease is anything that you actually have in your body that's going on for at least a year and that requires ongoing medical care. So it's not like a cold that you go in, be treated, and it's over. It's something that continues on, like I said, for at least a year, and most of the time for people's lifetime.
Wow. Okay. And I know we initially said, how it affects society as well as specifically Black community, right? So what is the most common chronic diseases that you personally have not experienced, but seen or is well known out there?
So heart disease is, I would say, definitely number one. We have different types of cancer. So if you put all those together, that's very common. Diabetes is very common, especially in African American and Latino American communities. High blood pressure, chronic kidney disease, which actually doesn't necessarily mean people are always on dialysis, but they may still have some underlying chronic kidney disease. Lung disease can actually do that. Alzheimer's, dementia, stroke. So all these different things can actually cause chronic disease for people. I don't see a lot of mental health, but we have some mental health issues also that are considered chronic diseases too.
When you're telling me certain examples of most common chronic diseases, what I'm seeing as a theme is based on, lifestyle and health, like how we eat. And so when you mention heart disease, diabetes and stuff like that, even the liver kidney, I'm saying Kennedy, like Amanda, I'm saying Kennedy. Okay, kidney. For me, going back to the Black community, why do you think that it's more prominent there? Because again, what I'm seeing is more health related, but again, you're the doctor, so educate me, Amanda.
Yeah, that is exactly right. So if you look at most of the things that I mentioned, it is definitely lifestyle related, but also in Black communities, a lot of us do not have access to healthcare. So therefore, we may not know that we have certain diseases, or sometimes African American communities or other communities may even not trust the healthcare system because of the background. So therefore, they don't get checked out, or if they do have something going on, they just ignore it. So that's something that we have to be very careful of in our community.
Would it also be possibly the cost of healthcare? Because I'm in Canada, so we have so-called universal healthcare, but go ahead. Sorry, let me go ahead, Amanda.
Yeah, that's exactly right. So lack of access to healthcare. So some people have healthcare, but their deductible may be so high, and that's usually what I see in my patient population is that they have coverage, but then if they come to the doctor, then they have to still pay out of pocket a lot. And so they may come and say, okay, but I just want this done. And yeah, I know I need that other stuff, but I can't afford it, so I'm not going to do it. So that's unfortunate. Yes.
Okay, so we know that sometimes, depending on when you go to the doctor, especially we're talking about US or even different countries that you may have to pay for, are there different alternatives to taking care of yourself that doesn't involve monetary cost? Does that make sense what I'm saying, Amanda?
So I would say if you go to the doctor, of course, it's going to be a monetary cost. So I would tell people to at least start to know what your illnesses may be. And then you can actually try to access free healthcare other places. So there's a lot of nonprofits that may be out there that could possibly help you The different churches may also help. There's community centers. A lot of doctors like myself like to go to these different places and actually educate people so they know what to expect and how to get the most out of their doctor's appointment, so they don't feel like they're, going in there and it's like a quick visit in and out, and then they absolutely know nothing more than when they actually arrived at the doctor's office. So I would just encourage people to seek out those things. And like I said, a lot of us really want to actually educate the community, and we're willing to actually come out to actually do that for people.
I like what you said that, because it is true. Like, there is cost, but then also just some form of personal responsibility to educate yourself on how to take care of yourself. Like, again, the small things you can really do is, eat better, or even there's Google. Okay. Google, to a certain extent, Google will tell you where to find.
No.
Okay. But I'm just saying, like, not like you gotta treat yourself, but more like, okay, there's a doctor there, or I would eat a little bit better, or what things are out there that you should look for is basically what I'm saying. I don't say replace the doctor with Google. Okay.
Right. Yeah. We were like, no, Dr. Google, but you can actually Google things to find some information. So like I said, was saying, like, there's a lot of doctors out there like myself that are trying to get the word out. So we're going to like your podcast and other podcasts. There's several podcasts out by doctors that you can listen to get some general health information. There's a lot of the healthcare systems that now have websites out there that you can actually get some good information from. Now, you want to actually look and see who the source is. So you just don't want to get, a random person that something happened to them, and now this is their theory on how healthcare should go. Now, I'm not knocking those people. They're trying to do the best they can, but we don't necessarily want to take our healthcare information from those people.
I'm glad you said that, because I know, I wasn't joking about the Google part, but I do know that a lot of people don't want to educate themselves. And, it's just steps of finding, okay, where's the nearest community center I can go to that can help me out? Just educating the point that, okay, this is the information I need. Now I need to go further and speak to somebody that's a specialist that, can help me out. This is where I really was going. Now, I know you said that you guys are individuals like yourself are really making an effort to go on podcasts or being more on social media to educate communities like Black, or as well as other minority communities. Now, my question then to you is for the individuals that don't want to educate themselves, right? Like some of the myths out there, like, okay, you know what? It's chronic disease. Like if they're seeing pains, they're like, no, I'll just put some like little vinegar on top of it. Or it's like no cultural ideas, where I'm going with this. So what are the common myths that you've heard out there that would prevent somebody from actually making an effort to educate themselves and they think they can resolve it at home?
Well, that's interesting. I like trying to resolve it at home, because I don't get a lot of people that's already done everything on their own. That's why they come to see me. So some of the things out there, I would say from their families, like what grandma used to say, something like that. Some of that has some valid points. So what can I say? Like drinking hot tea and lemon or something like that, or honey for colds, or I can't remember what my brother-in-law calls it, but it's something where they put alcohol into something. So that may break up like some of the mucus that they may have in their system. So some of those remedies may help for like upper respiratory infections, but it's not like if you have high blood pressure. I think some people may just like take supplements. Like I had a patient that was like, oh, I heard garlic is good, so I'm just going to take this garlic supplement for my high blood pressure, or I'm just going to drink apple cider vinegar for my high blood pressure. I'm like, okay, yes, that's good. But if you're not doing the other things that you need to actually help your high blood pressure, then it's not really going to make a difference. And then you'll unfortunately end up with like a stroke or a heart attack because you didn't actually get it treated properly, or actually educate yourself. Like I said, we don't want to stay ignorant to these things. And it's like I said, it's not like the information is not out there or available for you. And to know that most people in healthcare want to actually help you and not harm you. Like that's our oath. We're to do no harm. So we really want to actually help you. And like I said, I know it's some financial barriers and different things like that that can cause you not to come in. But again, that's why we're going to these different podcasts, community centers, to try to educate you so you can actually hear some information. And then, you can take and piece things together to do what's best for your health.
I like it. I appreciate that. And let's say if somebody was watching or listening and they wanted to know more about maybe reaching out to you, or just getting you some kind of advice on how to move forward, what's the best platform to reach you out on?
So I'm on Facebook and Instagram. Those are the two that I usually check on a regular basis. So I'm Dr. Amanda Akins on both of those. And to the education piece, I'm trying to do YouTube videos so people can actually find out more of like, if you have questions, and usually I answer it on a YouTube video so you can actually look at that. So if you have questions, I definitely tell people to type it into their Facebook or Instagram, like if I'm on there, and then I'll answer it in a YouTube video. So definitely want to educate you to get your best health, because we do not want chronic diseases to continue. And like I said, there's lifestyle changes that can be made, and you don't necessarily have to be, given a lot of pills and things like that to change your health, because a lot of people don't want to do that, and that's why they don't come to the doctor.
I like when you said that, because when I first started my podcast, I wasn't really aware of alternative health, finding different ways to do it. And I think a lot of people are scared that they're going to be given some kind of pill or some kind of shot, or they're be told to surgery. So I think what I'm understanding from you, Amanda, is that, don't be scared. There's different ways to help you out. It could be as small as making small health choices, lifestyle changes, or it may have to be involving getting some, x-ray done or things like that, just to determine what your issue is. But hiding from it itself is not going to resolve the problem, because eventually as you get older, it's not going anywhere. So educate yourself is what I'm getting from you.
Yes. And I'm glad you brought that up, said that it's not going to go away if you just try to hide from it. And the important thing that we see in our community also is that a lot of our older population is starting to become more and more ill, and then the family members are having to take care of them, and then they feel like they're being a burden to their family members, or that the family members can't really take care of them because they have to work and everything like that. So if you take care of your health, it's actually going to help your family members, so they're not burdened down. It's their actual obligation to help you because you help them, but it still can be a very hard thing to actually go through. So helping yourself is helping your family. So definitely pay it forward.
I like when you said that. And I want to, and maybe disagree with you, for one thing. You said this is their obligation. I believe it's not their obligation. I'm just saying, because other people out there think, okay, my family's going to take care of me. No, people have problems. People, like, life as we get older, it gets more expensive, right? They can't afford it. And most of the time when I deal with my clients and they're the age of 30 or 40 or even 20, I say to them, like, if you don't start looking at your current health situation now, or even address it at the age of 50, 60, what does it look like? Like, what are you doing? So I personally, I'm thinking to myself, okay, I can't afford to be a burden to my nieces or my nephews. So I gotta be, you know what I mean? Like, you have to educate. So I really like when you said that, the whole burden part, because even then with the ones that are in their 60s or 70s, like some of them pretend or don't want to inform their family they're sick because they, so I think what Amanda and I are saying is that, at this point, educate yourself. You can't hide from it. And you don't want to be 70 or 80 just being stuck in a wheelchair, wondering who's going to help you out. And it's very lonely is what I find.
Yes, that is so true. Yeah. And I didn't want to make it seem like the family had to do it, but some family members feel obligated to take care of their loved ones. And it places a burden on them as a caregiver. So that's where I was trying to come from that standpoint. But we definitely, like I said, want to educate people. So thank you so much.
I appreciate that. And I want to say thank you for having this conversation. I think a lot of people, with our current lifestyle, especially COVID-19, and just everybody's so busy, everybody's focused on right now, and they don't realize that, maybe they are experiencing some kind of pain. Like if you've been feeling pain, as Amanda mentioned, for the past year, it's a warning system for your body's telling you there's an issue. So, I think it's just more take a step back, get into your body, and then reach out to somebody like Amanda, or educate yourself, or go to your nearest community center and try to learn something, and basically take care of yourself is what I'm saying. So before I let you go, Amanda, anything else you want to add?
Just educate yourself. As I said, get out there and don't be afraid if something is found, because like I said, if you actually find it early, it could probably be taken care of. And just because you ignore it doesn't mean it's going to go away. It may end up being worse because you didn't actually take care of it. So take care of yourself, take care of your family.
Appreciate that. Thank you very much, Doctor. We're glad to have you join us. Don't forget to subscribe, leave a comment, Share with anyone that needs to be empowered and inspired. And don't forget to join us next week for the next episode of Health Your Way podcast. Have a good day, you guys.